Ali, you said Chelsea Football Club.
I did. And while I agree with Robo that Frank Lampard hasn't been able to put all the pieces together, I just look at what the talent that is available to Frank Lampard on the field. And so, in terms of who brought the most talent onto their team, I don't think there's any question that it is Chelsea. And Timo Werner seems to be the best player of all the players that were brought into the Premier League in this transfer window. And so, Timo Werner is going to score goals. Kai Havertz has got to play better than he has so far. And perhaps the most important acquisition that Chelsea made was one of the last ones, Edouard Mendy. Because Kepa cannot be the goalkeeper for this team. And so therefore, he may just be the one guy that stands out above the rest, simply because you know you're going to get someone from Werner, you know, or you're expecting to get someone from Kai Havertz when Mendy was necessary. Kepa was never going to be the answer.
Frank Leboeuf with us, of course, former Chelsea man. Has Lampard got what it takes to get this jigsaw puzzle complete? Because from what we've seen so far, it's a bit of a mess, Frank.
Yeah, he has everything that he needs, especially as Ali said, now he has a goalkeeper as well. I'm pretty sure that Thiago Silva will do the job. And of course, at front, he has plenty of opportunities to make sure that Chelsea is going to score goals. Now, I didn't pick Chelsea in the question that you asked because it's the efficiency of the players that just signed, where some are injured, some are not fit. I'm talking about Havertz, for example, or even Thiago Silva in the first game that he played. So, of course, the potential is there. But if the question is that who has the best window transfer yet, it's not Chelsea, even with the talent that they have. And for me, it's clearly Aston Villa. Because with a name that I didn't even know, like Watkins, and what I saw last weekend is simply amazing with the players. Even the former Chelsea player, well, still Chelsea player, is on loan. Ross Barkley has never been so good since the beginning of the season with that game last Sunday. So Emiliano Martinez, thank you Arsenal, is absolutely fantastic. I mean, he finished the season with Arsenal being superb and signed for Aston Villa, and he's still absolutely fantastic. So very good thought, very good signings with Bertrand Traoré, who's going to need maybe more games to settle down. But even Cash did well, and I'm sure Aston Villa is right now the best transfer window. I do say best window transfer. Well, everybody's going to talk, and I'm sure Robbo's going to talk about Everton.
We will hear from Robbo in a moment, but first let's go to Gav, shall we? Because we've got one vote for Chelsea, one vote for Aston Villa. You've gone for Liverpool, Gav.
Yeah, I've gone for Liverpool. And look, I think when we judge transfer windows, we have to look where a team is and what they're trying to do. I thought Liverpool should look at some of their contracts, try to get younger in certain situations. They decided, no, our strategy is to go and try to consolidate what we have. And they've added Thiago Alcantara at a price that, you know, they might pay a price for it later, but for now is a reasonable price, a very reasonable price. And he gives them a different dimension. He gives them another source of creativity, which I think they need against teams that go and pack the box and park the bus. That is not the type of player they had before. They've added Diogo Jota, who obviously gives you a lot of relief off the bench, and you know, might one day supplant one of the front three in the starting lineup when the time comes. And they've added the reserve left back, Tsimikas, that they needed. So I think they've done well there. I would have liked it even more if they'd sorted out Wijnaldum's situation one way or the other. But for me, they took a very strong team and they addressed virtually all their needs.
Robbo, you disagree with everyone. You stay in Merseyside, but you go for the blue half.
Yes, I do, because when you're having a transfer window, it's what impact those players can do, and you've got to try and make your team better in a transfer window. And Ancelotti has done that superbly. He knew exactly what he wanted, and they have changed the way they play. And James Rodriguez is the focal point for everything. A new signing, a free signing, and he's come on, and he plays on that sort of right inside right position. And every time he gets on the ball, that's the trigger for every movement. The Richarlison comes in off the left-hand side. The fullback gets forward. Alan, I've always been a great fan of him. It's a shame he got injured in the last game, but I've always been a fan of him at Napoli. And when you look at Ben Godfrey, he's a player that played very well in a relegated side last season, Norwich. And I like Doucouré. He does the job of, and we're talking about Thomas Partey, the job of being good defensively, being able to pass the ball quite sensibly, and also have the athleticism to get higher up the field. So I think they've done really well in the transfer window. And he's also got rid of Theo Walcott on loan, which I think is even better.
Wow. What's Theo Walcott done to you, Robbo? Was he upsetting everybody? Oh, thank goodness. We got rid of Theo Walcott, pain in the butt in the dressing room. Goodness me, Robbo. I promise you, we didn't say to everyone, please choose different teams. This was the original thought for once from the boys. Let's talk about teams that they didn't mention. Spurs, Ali, of course, brought in some key players as well.
Yeah, and I think you look at Spurs right now and you're encouraged from what you have seen so far. Now, I think Sergio Reguilón is going to be important for them. But really the key, let's not kid each other. Gareth Bale, what is he going to be for Spurs? And whenever he's finally healthy and ready to go, to nobody's surprise, he wasn't ready to go right away for Jose Mourinho and Spurs. But if indeed, whenever he gets healthy, he gives his team something different and an impact player that he hasn't been for a long time now, then we're talking about a different potential for Spurs and a different conversation for Spurs. But up until that happens, yeah, it was nice. It's a good, solid transfer window, and it's a good start of the season for Spurs. That's it.
Yeah, but how do we assess Spurs looking ahead as we have done for Arsenal, Gab? Obviously, given the fact that they've made these signings and also they just thrashed United Old Trafford.
Look, I like what Spurs did up until Gareth Bale. I think, again, when we assess these teams, we have to look at the expenditure, we have to look at what the manager wants, and we have to look at, what the club can deliver. Because, we keep talking about Lampard signed this guy, Ancelotti signed that guy. They didn't sign them. It was a club that went out and signed them. I think in Spurs' case, they got the fullbacks that Mourinho wanted. He's comfortable with Dyer at centre half. He got the reserve center forward that he wanted. I mean, I'm not the biggest Carlos Vinicius fan, but hopefully they won't need him to play very often because Kane will stay fit. Gareth Bale, I don't get. I guess they viewed it as a low risk gamble, given it's a loan and given that they're only paying a portion of his wages. If he doesn't step on the pitch at all this season, I think Spurs will still have had a reasonable transfer window. The only thing might have been, another passing midfielder. To go with Lo Celso or to replace Lo Celso, maybe a better handling of the Ali situation. But, I think all in all, a good window for Spurs.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.